All right, the very last thing that I need to tell you guys about is about the plates and the tubes and labeling them. Okay, so you will have some Petri plates. They will look like this. So there's the bottom, which has the agar in it, fits inside of the top. Okay, so when you're using your plate, when you're putting stuff on it, obviously it will be right side up and you'll take the lid off, but do still try, the lid is kind of like a sneeze shield. So it protects your plate from random junk falling in. And so you want to try to keep your lid still over the plate and then just like stick your stuff in from the side. Okay. So when you're putting something into your plate is going to need to be right side up. The rest of the time, your plate should be upside down because it's really hard to accidentally get germs into your plate if the agar is upside down. Nothing is going to fall in and grow. So normally keep your plates upside down unless you're adding stuff to them. In terms of labeling, you definitely label the side with the agar, because what if the lid comes off and you don't know which sample is which, or if the lid twists or something. So we write on the agar side and we write around the edge, because if you get something cute grow in the middle here, you don't want to have writing there. So you guys will label your plate with your tree, whether you're in the morning or afternoon lab, the type of agar that it is, whether you're the A or B sample, the date and your initials. Okay, so you'll go out, you'll collect soil from your tree, like I will make myself red oak 4 because no one is red oak 4. Okay, so I'm going to be red oak 4. Let's say that I'm in the morning lab. And then if you have read the directions, you'll know that you'll go get your soil sample and you'll bring it back to lab. And the very first thing that you'll actually do is to divide your soil sample in half. And then that will allow you to do 2 sets of replicate dilutions and plates. And so I will be half A. And then I'll write what kind of plate. So this could be TSA if it's the general purpose plate, or if it's the Pseudomonas isolation plate, it's going to be PIA. So you'll write sample, type of agar, you'll write the dilution, right? So we've just made all the dilutions. So like maybe this is the 1/100th dilution, so I'd write 10 to the minus 2. Then I'm going to write the date that it is when I am making the plate. And so today is the 27th. So I'm going to write 27th of September 2018. You guys are welcome to write like 9/27/18. This is just how I write my dates. Do be sure to include the year. And then you'll write your initials. Okay, so things that go on the plate. Number 1, sample. Number 2, media. Number 3, dilution. Number 4, date. And number 5, person, or persons in the case. So if I was doing this like with someone named Susie Smith, then I would just put her initials next to my initials. Okay, so that is how you label plates and how you kind of handle them around the edge. Yours won't have all this writing in the middle. Okay, then you're going to have a 50 ml tube, which has a fat lid. You'll have a 15 ml tube, which has a skinny lid. And then you'll have some microcentrifuge tubes, which will be in a jar. What you'll do to get these is you'll take the foil off, and then you'll shake the tubes out, and then you'll dump them on the table. Do not reach into the jar, because you'll make all of the tubes germy. Okay, then you put the foil back on. All right, as soon as you get these tubes out, you come from the outside and you shut them. So this tube is going to be your -1 dilution. So it's in this that you'll put 10% soil, 90% water, you'll shake it up good. So we'll write 10 to the -1, and I am red oak 4, morning lab, sample A. So the identity of my sample and the dilution need to go on all of my tubes. I am only going to use this tube during lab, so I don't need to write the date or my initials, but I do need to write the dilution and the sample ID. Okay, so that's going to be the 50 ml tube. You'll do your 10 to the minus 2 dilution in this 15 ml tube. And so I'll write the dilution, and then I will still write my sample. So Red Oak 4, Morning Lab, sample A. All of the tubes that I have. You'll notice on both of these, I am writing on the tube and not on the lid. This is because the lids will come off. And so for both the plate and these tubes, since the lid can come off, I don't write on the lid. All right. Then, put those over there. We have these little tubes are called the microcentrifuge tubes. Let me zoom in a little bit. Their lids are attached. And so it's okay if you write on the lid, but you can also write on the side. So I'm going to write -3 instead of writing 10 to the minus 3, because I don't have a very big lid. I'm just going to write -3, but then on the side, I'm going to write my sample information, Red Oak 4, Morning Lab, sample A. So all of that information needs to go on your small tubes, but you can use the lid in this case because it is attached. So when you have these tubes, you want to be super careful to not stick your fingers inside the tube. You're like, obviously, I am a grown-up. I can handle that. It is trickier than you would think, okay? So when you've got these tubes, like the lid just comes straight off and it's detached, and so it's really easy to not stick your finger in the tube or to not touch the inside of the lid. With these tubes, it is a lot harder because you have to grab this little front flap here and like pick it up to open the tube, but not touch the inside. So see how my thumb is holding the flap but is not touching that inside part? Do not do this where you open it and your thumb touches the inside of the lid, because now you have finger germs in your soil sample. I like you guys, but we do not care what's growing on your hands. We want to know what's growing in your soil. So when you open these tubes, you have to be super careful to just grab the very outside here. So maybe like, sometimes if you go more slowly, this helps. Or if you like grab it. Yeah, so just grab like the very outside and don't like stick your thumb like all on the inside of the tube, because that is the same as sticking your finger into the tube ultimately. So you guys will use these different tubes, and this is how you'll label them. And then you'll take out, once you've made your dilutions here, you'll take out of these plates and spread onto your, take the sample out, put onto this plate and spread it. And then that's how you'll get the bacteria to grow on your plates.